It's time for Bull Sessions, brought to you by Will Cross Seed, your weekly hour-long excursion into all things agricultural, from farming to livestock, soil to seed, equipment to rural life. Now here's your hosts, Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Bradley, we're back on the air with another edition of Bull Sessions. Did you have a good week?
Yes, I had a good week.
What'd you do?
Oh, all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah. that leaves it wide open.
Well, got to check little cows,
Your 5 cows?
Well, there's
You sold them all?
Well, no. We still got Tina and Jesse that we bottle fed. Then we got Fred and Ted. And then we got 48.
48's an ear tag number.
Yeah, ear tag number. And then we got the 2 other stragglers. We got them pinned up, too, that were in the timber. I played cowboy the other day, and they were in 160 acres with 100 acres of timber.
Good.
And then they got in the 80-acre bean field next to it that's been combined. And somehow I played cowboy, and I got them to go to the lot with
Did
my
you have a horse?
pickup. No, well, I had a power stroke.
No, not the same thing. I mean, a real horse.
Well, it was iron horse. Well, it wasn't even iron horse. Power stroke.
I can hook you up with a horse.
No, we're not.
If you're going to be a cowboy.
No, that was the closest we're going to get to a cowboy.
What do we got going on today?
Well, we've got Mr. Steve Luke.
Steve Luke.
He is a CPA. Do you know what a CPA is?
I can't even spell that, Bradley. And I noticed, too, it's a PC CPA.
Yeah, that's some legal deal that means basically he's a certified public accountant, which means he's one of those real exciting guys that crunches numbers and all that and makes everything right and all, how everybody hates paperwork.
They do.
And he's one of those guys that can help get it organized and line stuff out, and he's going to explain some stuff. We're getting towards the end of the year.
We are.
And we can grow more bushels and stuff and sell it for a higher price, but how we get those on those forms and, do we buy something now at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Do we defer if we're going to sell some more grain? What can we do?
What's deductible, what's not?
What can we do to try to get our taxes lined out where we want to be?
Yeah, and that's something we need to pay attention to.
And you've got to focus on the farmer, don't you?
Got to focus on the farmer coming up later.
Later.
I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Well, I think you did the other day. But
I did? You already know?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise.
You act surprised whenever we say it.
All right.
We do want to get with our CPA, though, to avoid IRS problems.
Well,
we've got a lot of initials.
Well, yeah, and
Speaking of, go ahead.
There are several people that have had trouble with the IRS.
There is, and you showed me a while ago you have a list that's entitled Famous People Who Have Had Trouble with the IRS. And we don't want none of our listeners to get in trouble with the IRS. That's part of the reason for this show.
Right.
But you continue on.
I come up with, I actually looked this up, so if it's wrong, you can blame Google. And come up with some famous people that had some trouble with the IRS. Okay. Maybe in the kitchen, and if you were going to make something for your wife, have you ever realized that use something from Martha Stewart?
Now, I remember Martha Stewart, but when you're talking about me in the kitchen making stuff, it's non-existent.
Well, Martha Stewart, she had some trouble. Okay.
I kind of remember that.
Now, do you know who Lindsay Lohan is?
No. I've heard of that name, but I have no clue.
Okay. Well, maybe you should Google some pictures of her.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
now,
I
this one,
I know you. You just set me up for something I probably am not going to like.
Okay, how about, you remember Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne?
Yeah.
Okay, you probably listened to that.
No. But I know who they are.
Okay.
There's quite dysfunctional family, I believe.
Well, they had a little trouble. I don't think the IRS could understand Ozzy when he called in.
Probably. People with big money seem to attract
it
the
happens.
IRS.
You probably don't know about R. Kelly.
No.
When I was in high school, he had the song Ignition, the remix.
No, Bradley. I'm lost.
Hopping fresh out of the kitchen?
No.
No? Okay.
Move on.
Now, this one you might know. Okay, I'm going to give you some clues. Okay. She was on the cover of a certain magazine 13 times. Okay.
No, not yet.
The first time was in October of 1989, And then again in January of 2016.
I have no clue.
It was Pamela Anderson.
Okay.
Do you know what magazine that was?
No.
It was Playboy magazine.
No. I'm glad I didn't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
How did you know?
I found the list on Google.
The filth comes out the more I'm around you.
All right. What about Nicolas Cage?
I've heard of him.
Okay. He had some tax trouble.
Okay.
Chris Tucker. Do you know who he is?
No, I don't.
He was the darker colored skin feller that had the, "You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?" That was his kind of famous line.
Don't know him.
Then our old buddy Willie Nelson.
I do remember Willie, of course.
Poor old Willie had some trouble.
Of course. I kind of remember that very well.
You remember Wesley Snipes?
I remember the name.
Remember the name. Okay.
You're aging me on this show, aren't you?
That's my goal.
I see that.
Okay. What about John Travolta?
I remember him.
He was listed on some. Now, here's probably your favorite basketball player. Dennis Rodman. Could you believe somebody like him would have tax problems?
I do believe that.
Okay.
I would absolutely believe that.
What about Lionel Richie?
I remember him.
You do? Well, he had a little trouble there.
Really? But a lot of people do.
Well, I mean, you get something on the wrong line or
forget something.
Or somebody was doing your taxes for you that wasn't doing them right or something. Now, what about Christy Brinkley?
I remember that name.
I think yeah. Okay. Now, this one's kind of current. And do you know a Reverend Al Sharpton?
Yeah, I know who he is.
You do?
Yes.
Well, isn't he friends with Obama?
Yes, he is.
But he's got tax problems. Do you not? Maybe it's just me seeing things.
I get it. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
The Reverend Al Sharpton.
The Reverend.
Yes.
So even the Reverend had some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever heard of Ja Rule?
No.
Well, it's more music you should listen to. We'll listen to that on the way home.
Yeah, I'm sure we won't.
Now, okay, I'm going to give you some clues on this next guy.
Okay.
Okay, did you know that Ford is talking about bringing the Bronco back in 2020?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Well, I was looking and I saw that, and you know what color the Bronco they had in the picture was?
What color?
White.
What's wrong with white? I have a white pickup.
Well, do you know when you think of a white Ford Bronco, what do you think of?
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson had some tax problems.
Oh, you snuck that in there really good.
Okay. Now, we talked about, I've said this several times, that farming is like the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I want to think that, How? Well, it's a family thing, and usually the only way out of it's death.
Uh-huh. That's true.
Okay. Well, the trouble with the mafia is if you're doing all cash transactions, how do you account for all of that?
That's the idea.
And do you really want to give somebody 20 or 30% of that cash and then have a reason of how you come up with $100,000 of cash out of the blue?
No.
Well, they could never get Al Capone, but they got him for taxes.
Mm-hmm. The IRS has a way of doing that.
Yes.
They can get you somewhere. You're going to get nailed.
Okay. Well, we're going to go old school here with a baseball player, Pete Rose.
Mm-hmm.
He got in there. Another
he was
one.
in trouble.
Yep. Darryl Strawberry.
I remember him.
Okay. And even comedy guys can get in trouble, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Abbott and Costello.
Way back then.
And Chuck Berry. Remember Johnny Be Good?
Yes, I do.
And even Miss America.
She got in tax trouble?
Miss America 1984 got in trouble. Vanessa Williams.
My name's not on there, is it?
Well, you're not famous.
No, you got a point. I'm not. Is that all of your list?
Well, I kind of filtered through, and I've got all the lists there for you.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to get out of here for a minute, and we're going to talk with Stephen Luke here after a while and focus on the farmer and all those good things when we come back to Bull Sessions on 680 KFEQ.